It almost sounds like something from Charles Dickens. The holidays were the best and worst of times to work at the parks. When you work at a theme park, the holidays are kind of the highlight of the year. From the end of November with Thanksgiving in the States, all the way through Hanukkah and Christmas and New Year's. For the theme parks that are open, this is often the busiest time of the year, and it makes for some unique experiences. Some are good, some not so much. It really is the best and the worst of times. When you work at the parks, you get to see and do these things that aren't available most of the rest of the year. Whether it's the Christmas lights at Silver Dollar City, or that used to be at Studios with the Osborne lights, the different decorations and displays, the different shows that are available during the holidays. There's a lot going on, and it makes for an amazing atmosphere. You ride the train at Silver Dollar City, which basically what we did was we sat on the back of the train and just rode around and around and around. But if you rode the train at Silver Dollar City, you'd see all these lights out in the woods and you'd hear the Christmas story. Disney is a photographer. We were taking pictures of the Osborne lights and of the different light displays and just some amazing things to be able to work with. But the reality as well is that while a lot of those employees are having fun, it's also the hardest time of the year. You've got kind of a set of hours, and for most theme park employees, you're working 40 hours a week until the holidays kick in. The holidays, because they are the busiest time of the year, the crowds are huge, the hours for the parks get expanded. They open earlier, they stay open later. But that doesn't mean that the number of employees increases during that. So it means longer hours for most employees. It was during the Christmas holidays at Disney that I would put in 18-hour days and 20-hour days. Where over the course of 3 days at one point, I put in 45, almost 50 hours in 3 days. You get these crazy schedules with long hours because they need you. They haven't added other employees, and so you're there, you're the one working. And it becomes exhausting. You really begin to look forward to January when the hours cut way back as the holidays are over, because that's when you're going to rest. And that's true of any tourist type industry. Where I work now in Branson, it's the same thing. This is busiest week. We got a hugely busy week and all the way up through New Year's, and then we'll die for a couple months. But it's surviving and getting through that. It means you don't get to see your family very much. The holidays themselves, you can pretty much guarantee you are going to work. So Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Somehow I ended up at Disney with 3 years in a row where I had Christmas Eve off. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how it happened. So what did I do on Christmas Eve? I took my kids to Disney. Because I had a pass that could let them get in on Christmas Eve. So we went and watched the parades and enjoyed the shoulder-to-shoulder crowds. Yeah. You've got the fact you're working on the holidays, which means you're not home. Christmas, for years, we basically did Christmas early in the morning because I would start work at like 10. Okay, kids, yes, we're making you get up for Christmas so Dad can see you before he takes off out the door to go work all day because he's not going to be home until 10 o'clock at night. That was a Christmas day for years. So you get used to having to reschedule your holidays, to juggle your calendar around, and then dealing with the crowds. This is probably the worst part, is because so many people have this amazing idea that, hey, let's go to the theme park, to Disney, to Universal, to Busch Gardens, to Silver Dollar City. Let's go to the park on Christmas or around that time because everybody else is staying home for the holidays. Nobody else will go. Guess what? Half the world thought the same thing you did. Yeah, the parks would reach capacity at like 11 in the morning. They'd close the gates because they couldn't take any more except for Epcot. Epcot would still keep letting people in. You literally would walk around the park all day, shoulder to shoulder, bumping everybody. As a photographer, it made it very difficult. I actually would wear extra pairs of socks at Disney because I knew I was going to have strollers and scooters ram into me repeatedly over the course of the day, right into my ankle. So I had extra padding to try to keep them from getting smashed because you knew it was going to happen because there wasn't room. You knew people were going to walk into the middle of your picture because there's so many people that they may not even have a choice. Not because they don't, they're not paying attention, although that happened too. But you just had to have them come through. Usually you would shoot your pictures from the end of the street, with the space in between. You couldn't do that during the holidays. You had to be close because otherwise they've adopted new family members that randomly walked in. You could count on getting shoulder blocked, knocked aside, just physically banged around. I would come home during the holidays with bruises sometimes from so many people having smacked into me. Lines would be ridiculously long. You would have people coming backstage because there wasn't any other place to go. People would come in, and a lot of them were happy, but there were a lot of them that were grumpy and irritable and not happy because they expected the parks to be empty. And not only are they not empty, but they're ridiculously overcrowded. And their whole image in their mind of the perfect Disney vacation is destroyed because there's all these other people there. Because they didn't bother to pay attention to what was going on. Silver Dollar City was the same thing. It was crowded. Our line for the train, it's the only time of the year we would run 2 trains because we had so many people. Our line for the train would fill the station. We had a switchback that we erected out front. Only time of the year we had a switchback out front. And we'd go up, back and forth a couple times, and then down along the hill, and then up over a bridge, and then down the hill. And our line would be, on the other side of the park sometimes. We could still kick that line through in 30 minutes or less because we were spitting trains out. But it was a long line. Lots of people. Like I said, we sat on the back of the train. We had some of us that all they did was crowd control, and others of us, we just sat on the train. I was one of the train guys who sat there and did the narration over and over. And the only times I got off the train was we pulled up to the station. I hopped off. I would hit a timer to let us know when we had to get out again. Hopped off. Okay, everybody, have a great day. See everybody get off. Load the next group on board. Hop back on the train, signal the engineer we're ready, and we go. We would turn around in 6 minutes. Yeah, crazy stuff. I ate my lunch on the train. I would actually bring a cooler, sit on the train. And so when we would stop and Grandpa was telling the Christmas story, I would sit in the back of the train and eat my lunch. The only other time I got off the train is if I absolutely needed a bathroom break. And then I was radioing ahead saying, okay, I need to stop for one round because I got to get off. And then, trying to deal with the crowds to get to the bathroom. Because that was fun. But that's how the holidays were. Oh, and then of course, Missouri at Christmas, December, we would get snow, we'd get ice, we get frigid cold. We're still running the train, which meant I had times that I was riding the train and it would be 18 degrees, add the wind chill because of being on the train. Not an exaggeration. I had a number of times I had the little hand warmers. I would stuff them in my gloves. I'd stuff them in my boots. I'd put them other places to try to keep warm. It would be so cold sometimes that they would hand us a fresh cup of hot chocolate as we were pulling out of the station. Brand new, hot, nice cup of hot chocolate. We get out to the show with Grandpa approximately 5 minutes later, and that hot, steaming cup of hot chocolate had turned to slush because it was so cold. Yeah, those were fun. I don't miss that at all. I was talking with one of my coworkers at my new job who also used to work the train, and we're both going, yep, don't miss that. Not one bit. It was cold. So between the long hours, the cold, yes, even Disney got cold. Florida cold is weird. It can be in the 40s in Florida, but because of the humidity, that cold just kind of like sticks to your bones. 40 degrees in Florida will feel as cold as 18 degrees in Missouri. Did not like Florida cold. You would get that at December at Disney as well. So yes, again, warmers up in the gloves. Those little hand warmers were amazing. I don't miss having to be out in the cold. I love cold weather. I'm a cold weather guy, but I don't miss having to be stuck out without an option to warm up. So between the crowds, the long hours, the grumpy people who couldn't be happy, getting rammed into, banged into, bruised, smashed, the cold, not getting to see your family in the holiday itself, and knowing you're not going to be home for the holiday. It was all stuff that you kind of took in stride for being able to see the pretty part of the park. So for the happy people you got to deal with. Because people were definitely extra excited during the holidays. It's like every emotion was exaggerated. So the excitement, the happiness, that was way up there. And so was the grumpiness and irritability for those. It was just all extremes. I'm grateful I got to do it. It was amazing. New Year's topped it off. Because the parks would be just insanely packed. New Year's Eve, you could actually count on the parks being so packed that you could not set up your camera on a tripod because there wasn't room. It was just shoulder to shoulder on the street. But we had some amazing times. I got a whole video talking about New Year's Eve that I'll try to link in the description below. So are your experiences working on holidays similar? I would love to know. Have you been to a park and kind of went, oh, wow, this wasn't what I was expecting during this time of year? I'd love to hear your thoughts and memories too. Please share them in the comments below. Thank you so much to my financial supporters. Their support means the world to me. Check the description. There's a ton of stuff in the description. Just go look. And thank you so incredibly much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderfully blessed holiday season. Thanks so much. God bless. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.